well as adding section B, which will state, the Rules Committee may propose to the EC at a regular business meeting to edit the Constitution and bylaws for grammatical, spelling, or punctuation errors. Any edits done at a regular business meeting shall not change the current intention of the rule being edited. So that did address the grammar thing I was talking about, but it also changed the, currently the way it went was the Rules Committee chair had to be the person with the longest tenure on the committee, and they must serve a 3-year term. So, being that I was the chair of the Rules Committee, when I was told that I had to chair it now because the other chair resigned, I was like, you can't make me chair of the committee. And they said, yeah, that's what the Constitution says. And I was like, what? That's insane.
Not very libertarian of us.
I said, good, I'll be the chair, and let's change that now. So that's why that's what it's about.
Okay, the motion is on the floor. Do I hear a second? Greg Lennon seconds. Floor is open for discussion. And Dana, I'm sorry, did I interrupt? Did you want to speak more to this motion? Okay. Anyone? Okay, Jim?
Aren't there provisions in the Constitution for editing the bylaws and the standing rules at a regular meeting?
I don't think there are.
No,
yeah.
there is not. That's why we added it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that kind of needed to be there because, like, for example, one of the things that we dealt with in the consent agenda is we had, in our number sequence, we had a duplicate number. So when you referred to, article whatever, section 2, it was there twice. Which one were you talking about? So we need some mechanism by which we can correct those things.
Right, we couldn't change a simple thing like that until...
Without the convention, correct.
Point of information.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, the only thing we could change is the standing rules.
Yes, the EC can change the standing rule, which in the priority of our documents is our lowest set of documents. The Constitution is the highest, bylaws are the second, and then the standing rules, basically a lot of times in the bylaws it'll say as prescribed in the standing rules, and those are kind of like the city ordinances, so to speak. Those are the lowest level, and those are the only things that the executive committee has the authority to change. Okay, floor is open for discussion. Please rise to be recognized. Seeing no discussion, the question is called. All in favor of this constitutional amendment, please rise. And that is definitely 2/3. Okay, motion passes. You guys are making this easy, which makes me nervous. Yeah. Okay, Dana, you're recognized.
The next motion is, I move to amend Article 3, Section 6, Platform Committee, to say, the Platform Committee shall be nominated by the chair of the LPF, the advice and consent of the Executive Committee, to contain at least 3 members whose task will be to present a combined document of proposed changes and additions to the party platform at the annual business meeting. It shall perform its duties to present a document as outlined in Article 5.
Okay.
And the old rule said that they must appoint people on the committee that need to work together, which I thought kind of discriminated against people who may be new to the party and interested in the platform. I mean, that seems silly.
Yeah. As we all know that, finding 2 libertarians that can work together is a difficult task sometimes. So taking out that requirement makes it much easier for the chair to appoint people. All right. The motion is on the floor. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Danielle seconds. Floor is open for discussion. Please rise to be recognized. Okay. Seeing no, the question is called. All in favor of this amendment, please rise. Okay, that is 2/3. Motion carries. And that concludes our constitutional changes. That's outstanding. Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause on that. Yeah, now we are at the bylaws, and if I'm not mistaken, the bylaws only require a majority to pass. Okay, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that is the case, but we will confirm that. And at this time, Dana, you recognize?
All right. We move to amend bylaw Article 1. The LPF shall not initiate any political action in a county affiliate's political domain, except get out the vote, voter registration drives, fundraising, establishing new county affiliates, vetting and supporting multi-county or statewide candidates for office. And this adds that last sentence saying vetting and supporting multi-county or statewide candidates for office.
Okay, do I hear a second? Okay. Yeah, Lucas Overby seconds. I want to describe why this change is being made. And basically, currently, the LPF is prohibited without the express consent of a county affiliate to do anything other than the specified political action. And that's a good thing, because the LPF wants the counties to have autonomy. But there is one area where this presents a problem, and that is in almost specifically U.S. congressional districts, where a congressional district can comprise 2 or more counties. The LPF, obviously, we feel that the LPF has a duty to help the statewide candidates, to help the congressional candidates, but our bylaws didn't give us the authority to help large district candidates without the express permission of every county affiliate that district covered. So this is just kind of a thing. This would have no implication on any county level candidates, any city level candidates, anything like that. This just applies to specifically U.S. congressional districts for the most part, and statewide races, of course. So that is the reason for this change, and it basically allows the candidates committee to work directly with those candidates. So floor is open for discussion. Carl?
How does this affect, there are state senate districts that do flow over into different counties.
Oh, that's true.
Does this cover this?
That would, yeah, because the way the language is, it's any candidate that is in a multi-county district.
Okay.
So it would cover state Senate candidates where their districts overlap. And you're right, there are, actually with gerrymandering, there's several of those. So there's some of those districts that run like 2/3 of the way down the state. So yeah, that would apply as well. Further questions? Yes, John.
I'd like to speak against this motion. This was written with candidates in mind, where the vetting committee would feel pressure to vet the candidate, but the counties did not support that candidate. I don't think it's an impediment to ask the county affiliates for approval to come in and do work in their county.
Okay. All right.
I don't see that as a problem. I do see a problem where the state would come in working for a statewide or multi-county candidate where that county was working against that candidate.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So what you're saying is if there were a situation where the county and the state were in conflict over whether that was an acceptable candidate.
Correct.
Oh,
I mean,
you know, quite frankly, I hadn't even considered that possibility.
There's nothing in here, in that article, to say that the state can't ask for permission.
Right.
It's not a big deal.
Right.
You ask for permission, and 99 7/8% of the time they would grant it. But we do have some candidates that have caused problems in the past, where I can see a county organization at odds with the state organization.
That's a good point. Yeah, I hadn't considered that. Pete, you recognize?
As much as I can appreciate what you're saying, what you're advocating is the ability of a single county to go ahead and put a brake on a candidate which is going beyond the county's border. And to go ahead and say it's not such a big deal to go ahead and ask a particular county for permission. If we do get numerous candidates, right now we have 1, 2, 3, it could be administratively done. If we get multiple candidates in 67 counties, if we get any significant growth going, you're making an enormous administrative headache, and it'll always come down to one particular county said no, now all of a sudden we have support problems for who might be statewide candidates. The county can make its objections to a particular candidate. They can continue in their own county to go ahead and say, no, we don't like this guy, and let the whole world know about it. But to go ahead and hold up the whole process when the rest of the party does want to support, that seems an undue burden to place on our own party.
Okay. Danielle, you recognize?
Yeah.
I'd also like to point out that one county, and we're hoping that in the next year we have 67 county affiliates. One county with a very small population could actually stop a statewide candidate from getting any help. This
It
as
doesn't
it's
preclude
written,
that candidate from getting help in the rest of the state, just the state not doing work in that county.
well, hold on. This would be just for the the way this is written is just for the Libertarian Party of Florida to help that candidate. It would not force any county affiliate to help the candidate. It would just give the authority for, like, say, the candidate committee for the Libertarian Party of Florida to help that candidate. It would not force any county affiliate to help someone that they didn't approve of.
Okay. Pete, since you have already spoke to this motion, I will come back to you last if there's no further discussion. Tom, you're recognized.
Yeah, but when we're doing that, what you're saying is, we don't care what you want, county. We're going to come work in your county against your wishes. You may know that candidate better than statewide candidate. You may know that guy and say, whoa, this guy's crapped on us. We don't want you working in our county. Let's say the county, I'm up where Citrus is. I mean, you've got 5 counties, 1 congressional district. Hernando, Citrus, Levy, whatever. Okay, you can go work down in Hernando, you can go work up in Levy. You can't work as the state in Citrus unless Citrus says...
Now, wait a second, Tom, I'm sorry, let me correct you on that. Is the way the language in the bylaws now, and let me just specifically read it. The LPF shall not initiate any political action in a county affiliate's political domain except get out the vote, voter registration drive, fundraising, and establishing new county affiliates. Period. It doesn't say with the county's permission. So I understand
I understand that.
Yeah. So at this point, the LPF is prohibited from doing anything in those other than those, even with the county's permission.
Then come back and ask for that.
Then
Don't ask for this.
Yeah, I would agree that if it was out there saying, hey, we can work in any county we want, supporting any candidate with the affiliate's permission.
Okay.
Without the affiliate's permission, I don't think you should be able to do that.
Would you, well, I think with that, you may want to consider, Tom, making a motion to amend, but we've still got discussion on the main motion at this point, but just consider that. Alex, you're recognized.
The question that I would have, that I want to pose right now would be, whether this motion, let's say this motion wasn't made, but this motion failed, would that stop the candidate from being able to go to those counties and do work? I mean,
no, the candidate can do what the candidate wants to do.
That, right? So the candidate themselves could actually go into that county and without the approval of without the approval of the county.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So this is stopping, what they're talking about, if we strike this out, is to stopping the Libertarian Party of Florida from
assisting that candidate within that county.
What would be some kinds of things that would be assistance that the Libertarian Party of Florida would do?
Well, a prime example would be sending members out to support the campaign. Yeah. Well, voter registration drive is already...
The candidates committee is the LPF, so if the candidate wanted to get help from the candidates committee...
The candidate committee couldn't help them.
Correct. Yeah. So, any members, and Pete, I will come back to you, but David, you recognize? Just a note on that, Pete. Parliamentary procedure dictates that everyone be given the opportunity to speak once first to the motion, and then we can come back to someone who's already been recognized. Yes, Dave?
Would the assistance that would be stopped be, for example, advertising for the candidate? For example, if somebody's running for governor and the broadcast is coming from one county, if it falls into your county, then the LPF program will?
Yeah, there's a lot of those type of scenarios. So, for example, if the LPF wanted to do a radio ad that says, you know, support these candidates, and that radio station broadcasts in the county that said, no, we don't support this one candidate, then that entire radio ad could be said, well, we can't broadcast it on the station. So there are multiple types of issues like that we could be running into. So the floor is open for discussion. Please ask to be recognized. Okay, Jared, and I'll get back to you guys as well.
We would have the same problem with websites as well.
Yeah. Oh, very good point.
The candidate is on the LPF website, and people can access that in many counties. So.
Yeah, folks, I think this is one of those situations where there is no intent here. And Tom, or Jim, I think you had referenced a scenario that had happened. I'm not familiar with that scenario, but when we addressed this issue, quite frankly, it never occurred to me that a county affiliate in the LPF might be in disagreement over a specific candidate. So with that in mind, I would think that, perhaps we could say this in some way. Yeah, it's a tough call. There's a lot of variables there. All right, at this time, I see Scott. Go ahead, Scott.
Just a quick question.
Wait a second. Did you speak to this motion already? I don't believe you have spoken to this motion. Okay, Scott, you recognize.
No, a lot of the others, not this one.
Okay.
It's, for example, state house races that are within one county. The LPF can't come in now to assist that candidate without the county affiliate's permission. Is that correct?
That is correct, and this would.
Not changed
This does not change that. In fact, by the letter of the bylaws, the LPF is actually prohibited from doing that with or without the affiliate's position. It has been traditional for the LPF to only do that with the affiliate's permission. However, now that I'm looking at this and thinking about the discussion we're having, I realize that even with the affiliate's permission, we would be prohibited from assisting, say, a county commissioner, even if we had the express permission of that affiliate.
Then we need to amend this so that the LPF gets permission to,
I concur.
to add that in there.
Yeah. All right. Further discussion? At this time, I recognize Pete, and then I'll recognize Tom. Pete?
Thank you. I'm considering what Scott just said back there. I wanted to ask a clarifying question of Jim Tall, if that's possible.
Yes. And the question?
Very realistic circumstance that could happen here. We have a candidate, multi-county, statewide, something like that. The LPF supports him because we have our own rules already about if you garner so much contribution money and you're an established candidate, you can get assistance from the LPF monetarily.
Right,
so
that's the standing rules, right?
So he's already gotten that, and it happened in the Fred's campaign, so it's realistic, I've seen it.
Mm.
And then that candidate decides to go ahead and get a campaign bus, which is a very common thing to do. He puts across the side, I'm the campaigner. What if he gets to the border of the county, of the district that doesn't like him? Because now that was supported by the LPF. You're trying to say he'll have to stop his bus and not enter.
And
that's not what this says, Pete. It says it shall initiate action, not shall support the candidate. This isn't saying that the party can't support the candidate. This says that the LP can't come into a county and set up a table at a county fair on behalf of that candidate with the LP banner in the background. That's what initiate action in the county means. It doesn't mean that an ad can't bleed. It doesn't mean about a website.
Then I'll amend my example to be the bus company that you're getting your bus from is in your county. Then what are you going to do? You're going to say, no, you can't get the bus here. You've got to go to the next one.
I don't see that as initiating action, initiating political action.
What this is doing is it's opening up Pandora's box of nothing but countervailing arguments about who is supporting what, and we don't want this guy in, and we'll let this guy in under these circumstances. It'll be a nightmare.
Well, to clarify, what you're saying is failing to pass this would open the pan.
Right.
Okay. All right.
And I'm still considering what Scott said over there. So.
Yeah. Further discussion? Okay. Amendments? Scott, you recognize?
Yes. To eliminate that situation that I was talking about with the LPF assisting candidates within the county, which would include training candidates for city council, and which is where we need to start. Offering to add this sentence to this paragraph. In addition, candidates within the county may be supported by the LPF with the affiliate's permission.
That may, yes.
Extra sentence?
Okay. The amendment is made. Do I hear a second for that amendment? Okay, I saw Bill Walsh for a second. All right, let's open the floor for discussion on that amendment first. And can you restate it for me, Scott, so I can, Secretary can write that down?
In addition, candidates within the county may be supported by the LPF with the affiliate's permission.
Yeah, see, I'm not crazy.
No, it's
Okay. All right. Got that. So the floor is now open for discussion. We are now discussing the amendment to add a sentence to the existing bylaw, Article 1, which would say, in addition, comma, candidates within county may be supported by the LPF with permission of the affiliate.
From the county, with permission?
With the affiliate's permission.
Okay, I can't read my own shorthand. All right. Yes, Ray, you recognize.
I almost hate to do this. The second sentence that we have here, the semicolon needs to be struck then after accept, we need to put a colon, because it's grammatically incorrect.
Okay.
We've already passed the grammatical changes.
Yeah, I would. The grammatical changes can be made now that we pass that amendment. So I would like to go ahead and ask that the secretary make that change as well. And again, the change is strike the semicolon from after the word domain. Actually, that should be a comma, not a semicolon after domain. Yeah, and then the except is a colon, and the G should be capitalized at that point. I'm a bit of a grammar Nazi myself, so I'm cool with that. Go ahead, Ryan.
What I was going to say is, what we're talking about is, how about with affiliates information part about request?
I would say that it's the same issue. I would say that permission is a tacit request. I mean, you can make the motion if you like, but from my perspective, I would say that's the same thing. Yeah, request is implied.
I'm sorry?
We do. We're discussing the amendment now. No, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Your request implies. So, or request is implied, I should say. Now, just a moment here. No, the amendment is not for the semicolon. We're going to fix that just grammatically. The amendment is to add the sentence.
We can fix any grammatical errors right away.
All right, so that's just a note, not an actual amendment.
And then do grammatical changes at the end.
Okay, all right. The secretary, for reasons of clarity, has asked that we confine or restrict the discussion to the amendments and/or main motions on the floor. And if anyone sees any, minor grammatical errors, just address the secretary separately, because now we have the authority to fix those. So, yes, Lucas, you're recognized.
On the point of clarification, who has the ability to determine who candidates are? And if a county can block state help from a candidate, is that giving the county the authority to determine who the candidate will be through vetting?
No, it wouldn't overrule the vetting. Nor would it prevent the candidate committee from working with the candidate. However, it would prevent the candidate committee from taking action within that specific county. So that's really the limitation. Nor would it prevent the candidate themselves from taking action in that county, because neither the LPF nor the county affiliates have the authority to prevent the candidate from actually doing anything. So. Curtis, you're recognized. I don't know, there's like a blind spot for me over there, I apologize for that.
My forehead.
Curtis, you're recognized.
I was just thinking the words candidate within the county is a bit vague. The candidate within the county could be for a statewide office. I'm thinking candidate for a countywide office would probably be a little more clear.
Well, if the way this motion is worded, it gives the LPF express authority for any multi-county or statewide candidate. That's the addition on the main motion. And then the amendment, if you add that to the main motion as passed, it would make perfect sense then. You see what I'm saying? Because of the addition in the main motion, which is vetting and supporting multi-county or statewide candidates for office. Does that clarify, Curtis?
Some congressional districts are inside one county.
Correct, yeah.
That's why you can't say county office.
Right.
District contained within.
Yeah, this would cover districts contained completely within a county. I'm sorry, Curtis?
Candidates within the committee, county, what are we talking about? Are we not talking about this county one?
You would be talking about even a congressional district that is completely confined within a county. Like for high population centers, there's U.S. congressional districts that are confined within a single county. That would be completely at the county's discretion. Okay. A congressional district that exceeded that would be, the LPF would have the authority to engage in action on behalf of that candidate in the county. That's basically how the rule would work.
If I may answer that question, since it's my amendment, also with that in mind, it allows the LPF to assist some of the lower level candidates such as State House.
Yes.
Or even City Council, or if we even wanted to answer questions and go, hey, this guy's good for soil and water because we're trying to
Right. With the affiliate's permission.
With the affiliate's permission.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, see, and one of the reasons behind this, folks, is the LPF has actually built a decent infrastructure for supporting candidates. We need to continue to build upon what we have so far, but it's not bad. And we're, I can attest to it, Lucas can attest to it, we're getting there. And we want to build upon that even more and more and more. So we want to be able to use that tool and provide it to the candidates. So that's really the rationale behind this. And we also want to make sure that the affiliates maintain their autonomy and have the authority on whether that tool be used for a specific candidate within their county. I think this, with the amendment as proposed, achieves both. So the floor is open. Yes. Pete, you recognize.
What constitutes an affiliate's stamp of approval? How is that determined?
That's up to the affiliate. Now, we've made a recommendation that they adopt a vetting process similar to ours, but it's completely up to the affiliate on how they decide to vet, approve, disapprove any candidate. That's their prerogative. Further comments? And just to clarify, we are on the amendment currently. So, yes, you recognize? Alexander?
I just have two things. One, the initial amendment that you wrote, I think that we need to pay attention to the keyword initiate, which means to do first, to be proactive. I think we're fine with that. I did want to suggest a change to how we have worded the addition. That I think that if we just put a period at the end of the original statement, which follows under the action of initiate, and then to add the statement, LPF may provide additional support to local candidates with affiliate permission.
Okay, I think we could treat that as a friendly amendment. Who was the mover and seconder on the amendment?
I was mover of it.
And then the second was Bill on the.
Okay. We will attempt this as a friendly amendment if you'd like. Would you mind rereading the proposed way you think the amendment should be worded?
I just wanted to say, because of the word initiate, that I think it's good to put a period at the end of the sentence so that we know that those are the powers that they are limited to initiate, and then put a period, and then to just restate what you said in a different way, to just after the period, after office, put LPF may provide additional support to local candidates with affiliate permission.
Well, that's the same thing, because the period's there and this is a separate sentence, and you're saying the same thing.
I'm just saying without the in addition, that it doesn't need to be in addition, because the initiate is a clear thought.
If you say local candidates, that's not going to be a state house position.
Yeah, local candidates is a little too limiting. That wouldn't apply to state house, state senate, or U.S. congressional. So the language local might be a bit problematic.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah,
you might be right.
If you just struck out in addition.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Perhaps the wording, candidates district fully contained within a county would take care of all of those situations?
Any district fully contained within a county? I think that would probably cover all the...
that would be local, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would cover all the criteria. Ms. Coe, is that acceptable? Instead of local, any district contained within a county?
I think that's great.
Okay. Scott, thoughts on that?
So what we're saying is strike out the words in addition.
Yeah, strike the word in addition.
And then candidates, starting a new sentence, so that'd be a capital C for all you
LPF may
grammar.
provide additional support to any district fully contained, to any candidate in a district fully contained in a county.
Pete, recognize.
Mr. Chair, point of information, I suppose this is, are there any, like city municipalities that are in multi-counties?
In the state of Florida, I am not aware of any.
Okay, I'm just wondering, because that could be another problem here if they cross borders.
Oh yeah, we haven't gotten that far. Scott hasn't accepted yet.
I'm just trying to understand, so if candidates,
Order please, order please.
my question, if goes along with what Pete was questioning, though, but I want to make sure I understand what she was saying, because I think it's hear her very well back here.
Okay.
Candidates located within, are we saying?
Ms. Coe, could I ask that you write that down and present it to the chair?
Yes, please.
The sentence, we're just having a problem getting the sentence structure right. But I would like to suggest that local be replaced with districts contained within a county.
Because any other...
Fully contained within a county.
Pete's comment, any city that happens to be across multiple counties would be covered under the other sentence.
Automatic support for city council from the LPF.
Yes, even if they're running for city council, and that city council district that goes across counties,
Okay.
under the
All
other.
right. And folks, I'd just like to remind everyone that we are supposed to break for lunch at 11:30. So if we could expedite this process, it would be greatly appreciated, so that we don't have to go too far into the second part of the day finishing up the bylaws. So, all right. So we pending the proposed change.
So I'm acceptable to the amendment that would say that will cover.
Okay. All right.
This is located within the county.
Yeah. All right. So Scott, you're acceptable to it. Bill, have you been following? Or you accept that? All right. We're going to consider that a friendly amendment, and we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and call the question at this time on the amendment. Okay. So we are now voting on the amendment to add the additional language presented by Ms. Coe. All in favor, please say, or please rise. All right, hang on. We're going to need a head count. That's a majority. I count 34. Okay, so the amendment passes. Now we're on the main motion, which is the bylaw as amended. And Ms. Do you have that ready to go? Okay. If someone could bring that up to me there. And I'll read the motion as amended in its entirety, and then we'll move to a vote on that. All right. Now, so the motion as amended that we are voting for: the LPF shall not initiate any political action in a county affiliate's political domain except get out the vote, voter registration drives, fundraising, establishing new county affiliates, vetting and supporting multi-county or statewide candidates for office, period. Amended sentence: the LPF may provide additional support to candidates seeking to serve districts fully contained in a county with the affiliate permission. Okay. All right. So that is the amendment, the complete main motion as amended. Yeah. At this time, I would like to call the question. All in favor, please say, or please rise, rather. That is clearly a majority. The motion passes.
With 2/3?
No, this is bylaws. Yeah.
The next motion changes some of the cross-references we have in our documents addressing the suspension of offices of the members. I move that Article 2, Section 6 of the bylaws be stricken and replaced with the following. Any member of the Libertarian Party of Florida or member of the Executive Committee may be suspended by 2/3 vote of the Executive Committee for violation of the non-aggression oath. Upon suspension of a member of the party or a member of the Executive Committee, an officer or member may appeal the suspension in writing for 30 days. No appeal is made by the suspended officer or member, they shall be removed from office and have their membership revoked. Upon expiration of the 30 days, or membership revoked upon expiration of the 30-day appeal period. If appeal is made, the Executive Committee shall review the appeal and vote upon removal at the next regularly scheduled Executive Committee meeting. A 2/3 majority vote will be required to remove the appealing suspended officer or member. Should the vote fail, suspension will be lifted and membership and or Executive Committee status should be fully restored. If 2/3 vote passed, membership shall be revoked for a period of 5 years, at which time the member shall be eligible to reapply for membership as defined in Article 2 of the Constitution. After a member has been reinstated, Should that individual's membership be revoked as outlined and filed a second time, the revocation shall become permanent, and that individual will no longer be eligible for membership in the LPF.
Okay, the motion is on the floor. Do I hear a second? Okay, Greg London seconds. All right, and let me just speak to this motion now. We will be recessing at 11:30, but hopefully we can get some discussion in here, maybe get this motion voted on. But a couple different things. Florida Statute 103.095 specifies that we have a procedure for removing members of the party. So, part of this is to comply with the law. The other process is our current language on removing a member was very vague. We didn't feel real comfortable with it. We wanted to make sure that nobody had a mechanism for just getting rid of people they don't like. That's why we did a couple of different things. We set it up so the only criteria for removal of a member is violation of the non-aggression principle, which I think we can all agree what defines us as libertarians is adherence to the non-aggression principle. Therefore, violation of that would be grounds for removal. The other thing we wanted to do is make sure that it couldn't be done on a simple majority, that it required a 2/3 majority in order to do this process, and that even under those circumstances, there was an appeals process that could be gone through. So this is actually strengthening our existing procedure for removing a member and also being written to better comply with Florida Statute 103.095. So the floor is now open for discussion. Please rise to be recognized. Yes, Bill, you're recognized.
Mr. Chair, I will speak against this motion. I feel the 5 years is too restrictive. It's too long of a time for someone's opportunity to participate to be withdrawn or restrained. It also covers maybe 5 different boards that may feel differently about that person who for some reason was removed by a prior board. I also feel that Section 6, as presently written, sufficiently provides for removal of a member and is